Now, she was part of the code-breaking team that helped win World War II. Betty Webb was only 18 when she started work at Bletchley Park back in 1941. She joins me now from her home. Betty, what a joy to see you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And what you did was so vital to the war effort, and it's only now, I think, that we're appreciating the kind of work that you put in.
Well, I think that's right, because nobody knew at the time, and even my colleagues at Bletchley didn't know the full import of it at the time.
In particular, played a massive part in the work that was being done, but you weren't allowed to talk about it at all.
No, not until 60 years was the term of silence through the Official Secrets Act. It was quite a long time to keep quiet.
It absolutely was. So your mum and dad, your family, nobody really knew what you did. No. So when people talked about war efforts and how amazing everybody was, you just had to keep quiet.
Absolutely. My parents never knew. They died before I was at liberty to tell them.
Gosh, that's amazing. And you not only worked at Bletchley Park, though, you actually went across and worked in the Pentagon as well.
In 1944, I left Bletchley and went to work in the Pentagon in Washington, D.C.
Wow, that is incredible. And the kind of work that you were doing, if you could just give us an idea of some of the work that you took part in.
Yes, it was mostly clerical to begin with, because I was very young and inexperienced. But then by 1944, the gentleman on the left there discovered that I was capable of paraphrasing the decoded Japanese messages, and that's why I was sent to Washington to continue that work until the war with Japan ended.
Extraordinary, extraordinary what you all got up to there. And like I say, it's only really now that we do have an inkling as to what you did. I mean, we've seen movies like The Imitation Game about Alan Turing that starred Benedict Cumberbatch, of course. People remember that. But you were saying that was just a small part of what was going on.
Oh, yes, there was much more to it than that. A tremendous process had to be gone through to get to the end of the process. About 6 or 8 different things, like registering, decoding, translating, transcribing, and then decisions by the senior people as to what action to take on any particular message.
What's astonishing about it, though, is you did it all with your own brains and intelligence and experience. Obviously, there's no computers, and obviously there's nothing like that at all. The work that you had to put in was quite astonishing.
Yes, it was. It was very concentrated and could be very tiring because of the hours we were expected to work, which was 8 till 4, 4 to midnight, and midnight to 8.
Gosh, and then always, and knowing how important it was too, that obviously puts a strain as well. Now, you were a young girl, obviously, when VE Day happened, 75 years ago. But what are your memories of that day?
Well, they were, obviously, everyone was very, very happy. And those of us who could went up to London to join in the other thousands of people who were celebrating by dancing, singing and drinking, if they could find anything to drink. I think we did. And a general atmosphere of complete elation. Absolutely.
Elation, relief, and thinking to themselves, things will now hopefully get back to some kind of normal. Now, Betty, I'm interested in what you think about this, because a lot of people are making similarities between what we're living through now, this pandemic, and what happened 75 years ago during the war. What do you think about that? Do you think the comparisons make any sense at all?
Not really, no, because in 39-45, we were fighting an enemy whom we knew. We knew it was, at the time, Germany, Italy and Japan. Now the enemy is unknown. So I can't really feel that there is a comparison to be made.
Yeah, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I really do. And how are you getting on in lockdown? I know you're a very independent woman, but are things okay? Are you getting looked after?
I'm very fortunate in that I have very good friends and neighbours who've made sure that I get enough food, and in a very pleasant area where I can see out. I don't worry about being on my own, because I am on my own anyway, so it's not new.
It's not,
But,
yeah. And you can just, and I like the fact that you said you live in a community that it's a very strong community. You all look out for each other?
Absolutely. It's quite amazing. It really is. Friendly and helpful without being intrusive.
Well, Betty, we owe you an enormous debt. I know it's your 97th birthday next week. Be strange to celebrate it. I hope when all of this is over, you'll be able to celebrate it properly. And I would just say that your book, which I thought was fantastic, Secret Postings, Bletchley Park to the Pentagon, is a brilliant insight into exactly... Oh, yeah, it's a cracking book.
Oh, wow.
So I thoroughly recommend it to anyone who's got any interest at all, and that means everyone, in the kind of work that you did. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're an amazing woman. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you for having me on your programme. It's been a great honour.
And happy birthday for next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. What an extraordinary woman. Love her.